Well, welcome to video number 3 of the St. Anthony project. What I'm going to be doing right now is gluing down this plywood backer board on the back of the whole big flag. And it's easier for me to put that on there before I do any of the cutting out of the shapes. And then I'll cut it all in one. That way I have a nice smooth flush edge all the way around. So in order to do this, you have to do a lot of preparation beforehand. You have to have your clamps and your cawls, which I'll use these cawls to clamp it down flush and hold it down flat. And then I have a lot of extra weight that I'm going to put on top and give it some extra weight to help secure it down. And then I'll also shoot some brad nails into the back of it, and that will help make sure that everything's good and snug up. So now it's just for the fun, messy part. And we're just gonna pour it out and get us a good glob across the whole back of it. And the easiest way to do that is just to rub it in with your hands. And there are other ways to do it, but you know, this gets you into your project and gives you a good feeling for what's going on. And I'm gonna set that down before I spill it. But so now it's just a matter of spreading all the glue out and get it all the way around. And I'm gonna pull it out here just a little bit this way. And I wanna bring it all the way out to the edges and get it all spread out. And if at all possible, you wanna try to keep at least one hand clean in case you need to grab something. But sometimes you just gonna have to get right into it with both hands. But you just get it all spread out all the way through. You want to be able to see that the back is totally covered with the glue, because that way we know we have a good spread. We'll have good adhesion. And we'll move it around over here, spread some more this way and this way. Get it all spread out. My feelings with glue is I would rather see some good squeeze out, because then I know I have good penetration, or not penetration, but good coverage with the glue, and I'll have good adhesion throughout my whole project. Glue is relatively cheap when you take it into consideration the price of having to come back and redo a project because you didn't glue it right. So I would rather spend a little extra money on some lost glue than I would to have to come back and completely redo a project because I didn't get it glued up right. So that's just my thought, but that's just the way I do all of my projects. I just make sure I've got good glue coverage throughout the whole thing. So this looks like I've got a pretty good film all the way around. And so now I'll shove it up here in the corner. And I'll take this nasty glove off and this one here, and I'll discard those. And now it's a matter of getting the flag down on it. And that's another beauty of this jig that I built, is I have got this thing totally sandwiched up in there, and it's all the way around. So now I'll start with my cawls, and these are long enough so that they reach all the way across, and gives me the opportunity to tighten them down a little bit on this side. And again, the whole purpose for these is to keep a downward pressure uniformly across the whole thing, helping ensure adhesion. So pardon me for walking in front, but I got to come around and start adding them on this side. Get that one started. getting that one started. And I got this one going. So now I can come back and I can snug all these up and give me some pressure all the way around. And this helps ensure. These are called cauls, C-A-U-L-S, cauls. And what those do is they put the downward pressure that way and helps make sure that everything stays nice and flat. So I think I've got plenty of good downward force. Everything looks like it's pushing down evenly. Looks good there. And we look good here. A little more down right there, okay. So now, what I'll do is I'll just start adding weight on top. I'm not going to use that because that's a fresh open can of glue and I don't want glue on top of it. But anyway, I start finding everything in my shop that's heavy and loading it down and adding it to the top to help secure it and push it down. Everything that we can add helps. The more you can add, the better. So, that being, I'm even going to take a toolbox and add it on top. So, that's going to give me some extra weight added to it. And so now what I'll do is I'll let that sit overnight, and in the morning I'll come out and I should be able to then turn it over, add the bread nails to the back, and that way I know the backer board is very secure to it, and the backer board's purpose is to keep the sign from warping or twisting on me, and it's very important that we have that on there. So you want to get the backer board applied to the back of the sign as soon as you can. And I took the sign out of the clamps in this jig earlier today and had to do some cleanup because you have glue squeeze out, so I had to do some cleanup on that. And then I've got the backer board, and now I've gotten it added to the back. So this is video number 3 of the St. Anthony project. So we've glued the back to it and we're going to let that dry, and then tomorrow we will get the template of the US laid on top, get it anchored down, and we can start cutting this thing out to shape.